Periscope, online on Facebook. We,
Where'd Chad go?
he's probably coming back. He probably just dropped. Jess, can you mute yourself if you're not on? Thank you. I still got a buzz. Is that me? No, it ain't me. Hmm. Evening, guys. What's up? How you doing? Welcome. We should be starting. We're waiting for Chad. He had to drop off for a second. He'll be right back. Just wanted to start a little early just to make sure all the socials get in. Guys, give us a call tonight. It's hashtag one up me. And we are doing getting caught cashing tonight, guys. Best story wins a prize. I'm getting caught cashing. I don't even think I have the prize in the show notes. I gotta put it in there. Oh yeah, I remember what it is. I remember. So guys, Jesse's all set, man. Let's have some full cues tonight. Let's get through it, man. Best got caught caching story tonight. That's the show tonight. We're waiting on the Chad. I don't know where he is. 26. Everything seems to be working. YouTube's working. Facebook's working. People on both. Periscope's working. Nice. All right. Yeah, it's tough to decide which one you should use, Ryan. I know. I'll let you call up with two if you got two. If you got a good one. I got a show notes like with 10 in it. Pump up the volume. I'm low? Really? I'm low? Yes, I don't know where Chad is. What up, Skippy? What up, Jim? Where is Chad? I don't know where he is. Let's call him and find out. Oh, he's rebooting the router. There we go. He just sent me a text. At 8:27, he's rebooting the router. I love it. Great. Well, we're starting with or without him. He'll pop in. Oh, thank you, Ryan. Good. Good to hear. Hey, Jim. Just waiting for 28. So, yeah, guys, you got a story to tell. You give us a call 808-468-7924. Best got caught caching story tonight. That's what we're talking about tonight. We're going to hear some funny, I'm sure, funny stories tonight about people getting caught doing the activity we all love. So it's gonna be a fun, but it should be a fun show. I got a lot of stories. I know Jesse's got a couple stories. I know Chad's got stories. I know people already told me they're gonna call in with some stories. So let's hear yours. I want to hear everybody's story. Everybody's got a got caught caching story. Come on, everybody's been caught once. Every time, everybody. He can just call in again. Yeah, I know. How come he's not calling in? I know. Tell me about it. I got 1 minute. I'm starting the show with or without him. So you better get on the show here. When the clock hits 8:30, I'm starting this thing. It's ready to go. It's all ready to go. My level's just. I'm here one more time.
Testing, testing. One,
All right,
two,
you're working.
3, 4.
Good to know. There you go. Rebooting. You think he'd reboot the router before he starts the show? You think? Wouldn't that be the easier thing to do?
You would think. Maybe he didn't have any issue until
Let's see.
right now.
Oh, look, shaved Ewok. What's up?
Hmm.
Come on. Come on. That's 8:30. Oh, there it is. There's my alarm. All right, I gotta start the show. I'm gonna have no Chad to play off of. Here we go. You ready, Jess?
Sure.
How long do you think it takes to reboot a router?
I know how long it takes ours.
How long does it take?
That's a long time.
All right, we gotta start the show. There we go. I have push live. All right. In three, two, one.
You wanna know how to find it. Seek it out when they hide it. You know it's in the bag when it's an easy grab. But come on, take a chance now. So go, geocache, geocache. And if you need help, we're right there in a flash. If you got a question, just call in and ask. Uncover the stash on the Geocaching Podcast. The Geocaching Podcast.
Welcome, everyone. It is Wednesday. It is 8:30, which means that it is once again time for the Geocaching Podcast. My name is Scott Burks. We have Shorty Nits manning the phones, the hopefully busy phones tonight. And please welcome to my virtual left, my co-host, Jazz427.
Howdy, y'all. Have you ever been caught red-handed geocaching? If so, this might be the right show for you.
That's right, because tonight's episode is 590, recorded live on November 20th, 2019, and it is One Up Me Getting Caught Geocaching. Phone lines are open, so give us a call, 808-468-7924. That is 808-GOT-SWAG. But first, Chad, talk about, coming in on time here. You, literally came in and just boom. You said your line.
Yeah, well, cable modem dropped out for some reason, and so I had to go reboot it.
You're coming a little quiet. Can you turn yourself up a little bit? A little quiet.
Well, I'm about peaked out, so
really,
yeah.
Dude, bring it from your diaphragm, kid.
Bring it from my diet.
Bring it from your diaphragm. Speak to the
can't
back
do
of the room, man. Speak to the back of the room. Anyway, first of all, how's your legs doing before we do it?
Doing pretty good. So had physical therapy today before the show, and actually a little sore right now.
Ooh.
But not in the knee. It's like sore in the other muscle groups that they're trying to isolate and work.
Okay. Well, it's good to hear. I'm glad you're doing better. Hey, before we get started here, let's talk about Patreon, guys. Costs a lot of money to make the show work. We got so much stuff on the other side. Extra audio, extra video, only available to our Patreon members. It's totally worth it. It's a lot of fun on the other side. A lot of great videos, a lot of great audio. So we want you guys to come join. All you got to do is just plunk down a little cash, a little monthly cash to us to help us out with all the bills that pile up here with, with the streaming and with the website and with the, oh God. So yeah, if you can do anything you can, we'd appreciate it. It's patreon.com, patreon.com/ the Geocaching Podcast.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
See that, Chad? Just like that.
Just like that.
It's your turn to go now, Chad.
Oh,
I did this for you. I did this.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Oh, I just need a second one. There you go. So tonight's show is brought to you by Cachly. Cachly is an advanced geocaching app for iOS. It features powerful online and offline features, including filtered searches, offline maps, and offline saving of caches. Cachly has hundreds of advanced features that will make your geocaching experience just that much better. Get more info at cachly.com. That's CACHLY.com.
Chad, apparently I have to teach you I have to treat you like one of my children. What do I have to do, Chad? Help me help you.
Like, Chad, pay attention.
What do I have to do to get you to actually
See, I was busy trying to find a photo on Facebook because I can't find a good photo of me in one of my LEOs.
Okay.
So I should have done that earlier, to be quite honest.
But. And we're also sponsored by Logwork. Logwork, the creators of the fantastic logbook made with genuine write in the rain paper. The logbook's designed for the micro containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who would rather go caching than do cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
It's also brought to you by FTF Geocacher Magazine. FTF Geocacher is the magazine for geocachers written by geocachers. With 6 issues a year, FTF offers practical advice, instant tips, cacher bios and milestones, geocaching events, trail tales, and all things geo-related. Find them at ftfgeocacher.com.
I was waiting for you to spell it out. I'm sorry. And by the Max Suds Body Company. Max Suds Body Company makes handmade bath and body products from all natural oils and butters. Items such as Poison Be Gone soap, itch spray, and 2 cent choices of bug spray are all great for outdoor enthusiasts like geocachers. At Max Suds Body, we have you covered from head to toe. Find them at maxsudsbody.com. That's MACSUDSBODY.com.
And by Practical Geocaching. Practical Geocaching sells utility items for geocaching. Our items are made in the USA, and we always provide free shipping. Find them at practicalgeocaching.com. That's PAPRACTICAL geocaching.com.
And finally, by pathtags.com. For all your swag and path tag needs, visit our website to get creative help, to trade or log tags, or to purchase your own personalized path tags. With over 39,000 tags to collect, pathtags.com is everything you need to start your path tag obsession. Visit them at pathtags.com, PATHTAGS.com. And Chad, for the month of November, pathtag.com, their promo, $10 off all orders the whole month of November, Chad.
You got a promo code for that?
No.
Just $10 for everyone.
I think it's $10 for everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
And as always, you can find the links to our sponsors on our website and on our show notes, Chad.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Real quickly, on in our store, you want to visit our store. Hey guys, if you're a patron, by the way, everything for cost. It's like cost nothing to get something in our store if you're a patron. But everybody else, everything in the GCPC store, Chad, on sale through November 27th. Everything is
Awesome.
on sale. Our store guy Threadless is having a wholesale boom across the board. Everything's on sale. Go visit it. You go to our website, geocachingpodcast.com, and then go click on the store button.
And you're giving me grief. You can't even say our show name.
I know, right? Tell me about it. I know. I'm sorry. Chad, we got an email here.
Uh-huh.
I got to cook through this stuff because we already got colors in the queue. We got a great show, guys. One Up Me tonight. It's a contest. You win a prize from Practical Geocaching. Thank them so much for sponsoring the contest tonight. You give us a call, 808-468-7924. If you've ever been caught geocaching and you are within the sound of my voice, you give us a call. I will be here all night taking calls if that's what it takes. I want everybody who wants to be heard tonight and hear all about your getting caught caching stories. But Chad, before that, we got an email.
Mm-hmm.
I got mail. Yay!
I love to get mail,
I got
Chad.
mail. Yay!
So we got one from Just B, who is a friend of the show, and he says, "Come on, guys, Manhattan, Kansas." This is from last week, the show last week. I remember we were talking about Manhattan, Kansas, Chad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Okay, he says it's home of the Little League. No, I'm sorry, Little College. I can't read it. All my glasses on. It's the home of a little college called Kansas State University.
Isn't their mascot the kitty cats?
I don't know. But then Jessie said to me, "Hey, idiot." Yes, that's her little pet name for me. She goes, "Hey, idiot, we've been there and we found the cache on Kansas State University's campus." So I've actually been to Manhattan, Kansas. Unbeknownst to me. I don't even remember it.
So they're the Wildcats, by the way.
Are
So
they? Oh, they are.
I just any university with a cat, I call them the kitty cats. Pisses my wife off. She's went to LSU.
Oh, okay. By the way, I'm loving the Lord Alfred Hayes drop. There you go, Chad. That's your drop right there.
Mm-hmm.
Promotional consideration.
I
paid for by
recognize
the
his
following.
voice right away. Like a Gen Xer who watched WWE in the 80s. Good boy. Speaking of drops, can you explain the drop for Cody Dog? The Cody
Work.
Dog. That's that one. Yes. It cracks me up every time. Well, what it is, that's actually Cody doing that. He's actually doing that. He does that a lot. If somebody says Cody Dog, that's how he will respond to you if you scream his name. And that makes me laugh every time as well. That's why I had him do that drop. I sneakily had him do that drop, unbeknownst to him. I was going to use it as a drop. So yeah, that's why he does it, because that's what he does actually. So that's why it is. Thank you so much for asking the question. Thanks. He says, "Thanks, love the show." Thank you, Just B. Thank you for listening. You should give us a call tonight and let's hear your story. So Chad, that's what we got. So Chad,
Yes.
One Up Me contest. It's another One Up Me contest, Chad. Getting caught geocaching. Now, I've been caught. I have a whole list here of times I've been caught, pretty much by the police. Mostly. I'm mostly by the police. But how about you? You've been caught a lot?
I've been caught a few times. One extremely memorable, and then one by the police, which was extremely memorable. It was kind of like I I was technically doing something wrong, but had kind of geocachers kind of had permission, and we can get into it a little bit later. So.
Okay. Well, here's a funny story here. This is an interesting one. I'll do the first one, and then we'll get into some calls, and then we'll come back to you and vice versa because it's starting. The queue is filling up, and good news, guys. Usually we lock the queue at 5. I've upped it, so no. You get a busy signal, we're loaded. So keep calling if you get a busy signal. But I upped the queue, I think, to 8 callers now. So we could have 8 in the queue now, Chad.
Okay, if Matt's first in the queue, we gotta drop him.
I won't let him be first. So Chad, here's a good story for you. I'm not much of a Cedo guy. I'll go.
Mm-hmm.
To Cedos. I've held one Cedo in my life. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and the reason I held said Cedo was to finish a Cedo challenge that I was doing. So I didn't.
Yeah, you had to host one
I had to
for the
host.
challenge.
I didn't do it for the grace of God. I did it because I needed the challenge. So I did this Cedo, Chad. Like, what you have to understand is I've been a night casher most of my career. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
which means I'm just cashing at night. I cashed at night more than I cashed during the day, and so that's why I've always been known as the LEO guy because I'd get a lot of LEO encounters because I cash at night. And when you have
Right.
a flashlight moving like this around, guess what? That attracts police and that attracts people calling the police.
Really?
Yeah, shockingly. So that's why I
Shockingly.
really have more LEOs than most people. But actually, my Cedo, Chad, had a LEO encounter. My Cedo
Wow.
had an LEO.
Wow.
How crazy is that?
Oh.
I'm having a Cedo down this really main stretch, a 4-lane highway by my house, and because it was just totally trashed. And a cop pulls over and says, "What are you guys doing?" We're cleaning up the garbage. What do you think we're doing? He's like, "Can you do that?" I go, "Yeah. I called the people. They said we can do it. We just gotta leave the bags right out, on the side of the highway, and they'll come pick them up." He's like, "Oh, okay, cool." And that was it. That was my Cedo LEO encounter.
Yeah, I had a similar one, although it wasn't a law enforcement officer at a CETO that I was hosting actually, but it was the park manager that came by. Actually, it was the park groundskeeper that came by. The manager, we had permission to do the CETO at the park, but apparently the grounds manager didn't realize, and he was a little pissed off his job by cleaning up the park. Not that the park was really, really trashed out or anything, but he's like, "What are you guys doing?" It's like, "Well, we're picking up trash in the park. We're doing a CETO." It's like, "Do you have permission to?" It's like, "Yes, we have permission to do this." And he goes, "Huh." Well, then he's asking me what we thought about the condition of the park. I was like, "Well, we thought it was pretty clean, but we host these events where we do a cash in, trash out, where we clean up trash, extra trash and stuff. Sometimes the parks are pretty clean, other times they're horrific, and this park is one of the better ones."
Well, that's good.
So he was happy about that comment, and then and drove off.
And it didn't bother you anymore.
Didn't bother us anymore.
All right, let's take a call here. What do you say? We'll take a call. I'm gonna pick a random where. I'm picking Austin, Texas, because I like Austin, Texas.
Awesome.
Austin, Texas. Hello, you're on there. Hello.
We got a carrot killer.
Hello, is this?
Nope.
Hello, Pity. Is that what it is? Right.
Hello, Kitty.
Hello, Pity. Hello, Pity. How are you?
I'm fine.
So you got a good LEO? I shouldn't say LEO story because it may not be an LEO. It could be a Muggle. Do you have a good getting caught caching story? Let's hear your story.
Oh, it's an LEO story.
All right, cool. Let's hear it.
In 2018, I was caching with Bartman 914, working on the Hutto Hippo Wirgos in Hutto, Texas. One of the finals had us on a secondary road near a hike and bike trail that had a small walkover bridge for pedestrians. On both sides of the bridge, the landscape was kind of made up of river rocks. And so Bart and I were working side by side, picking up rocks one by one, just knowing that the container was hidden within. I happened to look up and look down the road and saw 2 local PD cruisers come flying down the road hot. And for those who know LEO terms, that means lights were on and the sound was going full blast.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, Bart, here comes the cops. And he says, they're not coming here. And I go, Bart, yeah, they are. So they pulled over by my Geo car and parked about 50 yards from where we were looking. They got out and come over to us, and Bart asked us what we were doing, and Bart proceeded to tell them about geocaching and what we were doing. And they said they had complaints from cars that were going up and down the road. And I go, but we're pulled over safely and I have the flashers on. And they go, well, the motorist thinks you're stealing rocks.
Stealing
Stealing
rocks.
River rocks? And I said, I laughed and I said, see this character with me? He is well known around the state of Texas for making rocks, containers made out of rocks. And he's in the Texas Hall of Fame for caching. And people think we're stealing rocks. And I said, my car's parked like 50 yards down the road. You think we're hauling these rocks one by one to my car? We just couldn't believe that we were going to be accused of stealing river rocks. So we walked back to the car, and I happened to have one of the containers that Bart has made. And we showed them to him, and they go, oh, this is just too funny. And they go, we really thought we had something going on here. And I go, yeah, well, not this time.
Is just for the record, is stealing river rocks against the law?
Well, we were stealing from the side from a hike and bike trail. What they thought we were taking rocks from a hike and bike trail.
Is that against the law?
Probably belonged to the city. I don't know. But the thing about this whole story is that after they left, Bart and I looked at the hint for the cache that we were finding. It wasn't even in a rock. It was under the bridge. So we really felt silly after that.
Oh, I love the old LEOs, man. Those are my favorites. Love the LEOs. Nice job. That's a good one. Thank you so much. Hello, Penny. I like it.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. All right, Chad. I have Ohio on the line here.
Ohio.
I have Tyrone Shoelaces. Hello, Tyrone.
How you guys doing?
How are you?
Pretty good.
You got
Mine's another LEO.
You got another. Everybody's got the LEOs, man. All right, let me hear it. Give me a good LEO story.
All right. I had a few to choose from, but the best one was I was out at night. Of course, that's when they usually catch you when you're out at night.
Sure.
And it was in an industrial park with a really big parking lot next to the building. And the cache was all the way on the other side of the parking lot, away from the building.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a tall fence there, and on the other side of the fence was a housing development. So it was a tricky cache. Took me a few minutes to find it, and I had just put it back. When I'm going back to my car, there's another car that's come flying over from the building, and I had no idea who it was. This car came over, pulled in front of my car, blocked me in, and a security guard from the business comes out of the car and all in my face and very smug. Oh, I saw you over by those houses. What are you doing over by those houses? And then he told me that I'm going to have to explain myself to the cops. He called the cops and they're on their way. So I just stood there calmly and messed around on my phone, looked which other caches I could find nearby. And a couple minutes later, up the driveway comes some headlights. And I kid you not, the cop pulls up next to us, and the first words out of his mouth were, "Did you find it?"
Nice.
Because his wife was a cashier.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome.
That's
The
awesome.
look on the face of the security guard went from smug to just like, "Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?"
That is awesome. That is awesome.
He thought he had me dead to rights.
That's a good one. So Tyrone Shoelaces was security guard. Thank you, sir. That's a good story. I appreciate it. Good one. Love
Thanks,
it.
guys.
Talk to you soon, buddy. Thank you. So, Chad,
Mm-hmm.
before we get to another caller, because the queue is loaded here, I want to get Jesse Brown. Jesse,
Hi.
hi. Let me hear one of your stories. I know you got some. You got some without me. So she doesn't always. She didn't always cash with me, guys. Believe it or not. So
I have a non-LEO story.
go ahead, give it up. Give it up.
So I was out by myself, and I was along a bike trail, and there was a cache up in the tree. So I pulled my bike over, leaned it up against the tree, climbed up the tree, and I'm up there. I get the cache. I start to open it, and I dropped my pen.
Oh no!
Right as I dropped my pen, a runner was running by underneath the tree, and he's like, "Oh, where'd that pen come from?" And so he's looking at me up in the tree. I'm like, "Oh, could you hand me the pen, please?" And he's going, "What the heck are you doing?" So I signed in and hopped down, and he's just standing there looking at me. So I had to explain to him what I was doing and what geocaching was, and I showed him the app and how many there were all around and everything. And he was like, "Oh, that's really cool."
Really? Oh, nice. Nice. Well, hold on. Your mic just went out.
My mic went out.
There it is. Now it's back.
There.
Oh, well, that's weird. I'm having issues with this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I thought that was pretty funny. I mean, what would you do? You're running along a trail, and all of a sudden a pen falls out of the
Yeah,
sky at
Like,
you.
what the hell?
Thank you, Jesse. All right, let's move along here. We got we've got we got a good friend of the show here. We got a Wheels 00. Hello, Wheels. Hello, sir.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you doing, Wheels?
I am doing well. How are you guys doing?
I know you've got stories because I've been with you for some of them, so I know you got plenty of. You're a night cacher like me.
I have
so.
way too many stories, and the funny thing is, I came fully prepared to talk about our 7 Leo evening.
Chad, that's 7 Leos in one night. Me and Brett.
7 Leos in one night. I think that might be an all-time record.
Including a Leo on literally the first cache we found that night. I think we found about 80. And on the first cache we had an Leo.
And the last when he sent us home.
And the last when he sent us home. Same cop.
at 3 in the morning. So yeah, no, I was fully prepared to talk about that one. And then as I was on the phone with your lovely better half, she reminded me of our first time ever caching together, which the funny part about that one was it was kind of like, I know that
you're talking about you and Jesse, not me and you.
Yes. No, I said the better half. Come on.
I apologize. Sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, so it was the first time. So I think we met in Schaumburg, and she's like, "Hey, let's go cash." And I think you weren't available or something like that. You guys are starting to hang out around some more.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go. So it was the first. I only knew her from social, not even social, because I hadn't met her, but just through you.
Yeah,
I
social
probably
media,
the Geocache podcast, stuff like that. So we just meet, we introduce ourselves, we go caching. So we're down in Itasca-ish. I think that's where we were. And one of the intoxicator caches, which are always at some bar.
Local bars, yes.
Local bars, right, all over the Chicago metropolitan area. So we're in the back corner of, like, off the parking lot, and there's a couple pine trees, a couple bushes, and it's a nice, easy cache, and it's just getting dusky. It's a little bit dark, and we're searching. We just can't find anything, so we spend about 10 minutes, 15 minutes there, and all of a sudden we see a bouncer or an employee from the bar come back out in the parking lot and is looking back towards us, but he doesn't see anybody. So we have our flashlights doused. We're dead silent. Don't move. We're like, and the car wasn't right in the very first parking spot. It was a couple spots away from us, so we couldn't get to it.
Right.
So he kind of turns away a little bit, and I think he might have gone in briefly. We searched for another couple minutes. He comes back out, and we are like laying on the ground at this point watching him. He's got a flashlight, flashing it into the bushes, and Jesse is wearing a Cubs hat that was nuclear white. And we were just like so afraid that it was going to reflect a big, like a Batman signal. It was just going to reflect back, but he never saw us. And so I forget how long it took. We were probably in there, like all told, at least 30 minutes, and we were stuck.
Wow.
Finally, the guy walks around the corner to the front of the building. We gave it a couple minutes, and I just looked at her. I'm like, all right, move low and fast, low and fast, low and fast. And we just busted out of those trees, jumped in the car, and I just started driving as fast as I could to get out of there. And as we passed by the front of the building, we look over and make eye contact with the bouncer, and he started screaming something at our car, and I didn't even stop at the street, just turn and just go. So we never officially got busted back there, but we were pinned down for at least 10 to 15 minutes, and it was that was our first experience of caching together.
Yes.
Quite a memorable experience.
Yes, I remember that cap. The cap is not white anymore. You'll be happy to know.
No, it's very dirty now. It's many years old.
That cat, that's got to be 7 years. That story's got to be 6-7 years old.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Good story there, buddy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Good to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Talk to you.
Bye.
Cheers.
Chad,
Uh-huh.
we got Grand Rapids, Michigan online. Grand Rapids, hello.
Hello,
Ad Ham. Is that correct? Am I reading your name right?
that is correct.
Ad Ham. How you doing, man?
Good, doing good tonight.
You're a first time caller. I don't recognize your name at all. So
That's correct. Yeah.
I appreciate you calling in tonight. What do you got for me? Let me hear it. Come on. I don't have a winner yet. Let me hear your
So-
winner.
This was back in 2008.
2008.
Well, cached for 2 years. My wife and I cached on the same name. We were out one night. This was a first to find run in Lafayette, Indiana. It was a downtown Main Street cache that just published. And I think we had just gotten our notifications up for new caches. So this is a chance for us to get a first to find finally. And so we're downtown. It's at night. It's in the middle of November, or no, it's towards the end of November. And we get to close to ground zero, and it's down this dark alley. And there's buildings on both sides. You can probably get a car down the alley, but it's pretty narrow. And you can picture a dark, dirty alley, and the middle of the night. And this is it. There was dumpsters and graffiti and everything. So my wife stays in the car, so she can shine the headlights down the alley and give me some more light. I got a little flashlight with me, but I'm searching around. I'm looking under the dumpsters, behind electrical boxes, everything. I cannot find this cache. And I don't know, I'm probably there maybe 10, 15 minutes searching. I turn around and look back towards the car, and there's a cop right by the corner of the building at the entrance to the alley there. And the cop he's got a bulletproof vest on. He's got one of those badges that hangs from a necklace with chain,
Mm-hmm.
like you see in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know guns. It was some kind of machine gun there. He had an assault rifle of some kind, holding it pointed down at the ground. So not at me, but nonetheless, I see a guy with a big gun like that. I'm like, stop dead in my tracks. And he's just about to give it a beat. He says, "What are you doing here?" And I said, I'm geocaching. And luckily, he says, "Yep, I know what that is, but you need to move along now." And I was like, he didn't have to tell me twice. So I walked back towards the car. I'm getting in the car, and I look, because the car is pretty much in line with him at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I look right behind him is at least 8 other guys decked out in SWAT gear, ready to go. And
Oh,
I don't know
jeez.
what's going on, but
So
we're
wait,
getting out of there.
wait.
So you got in the
The SWAT team
I
was
got in the
called.
car. Yeah, SWAT team. So I got in the car, and we take off. And that's when my wife tells me the rest of the story, that she saw them coming up, and he motioned for her to put both her hands on the wheels and to stay quiet. And all she's worried about is, don't shoot my husband. he didn't know what was going down the alleyway, So he didn't want to tip off. We never found out what actually was going down, because there was nothing in the news about anything. But all we knew is that was not the night to go down a dark alley wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh my
So-
goodness.
So were you living in Grand Rapids at that time? Because that's a good drive down to Lafayette.
No, we were living there in Lafayette at the time. So
Okay. Are you a Boilermaker? Purdue Boilermaker?
well, yeah, she got her doctorate there at Purdue.
Okay. I got my master's there.
And
Oh, okay, nice.
And so, do you have any idea why the SWAT team was called?
I have no clue. Like I said, we never found out why. I think we looked at the news. There was nothing in the news about it. So I don't know if anything, like if they're ready to bust into one of the buildings and break something up, or I don't know. Surely they didn't get
Weird.
called because
Weird.
we were sneaking around, because they would just showed up just one cop or something, But no, this was a full team ready to go. It was just crazy.
Wow. All right. Well, that's the
Yeah.
beat so far.
Lafayette's not a place that you expect a SWAT team to be running around.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. No.
That's the one to beat. All right, man. I appreciate the call. Thank you so much, man.
Yep. Thank you.
Talk to you soon. So, yeah, that's the one to beat right now. That is definitely the one to beat. Let me get this one. Let me take this call because he's been on call for 20 minutes here. I've got Jessica, our friend Shaved Ewok on the line here. Shaved Ewok, hello, sir.
Hey,
Dude, you owe me a path tag.
I have one. I found one for you.
I'm not gonna stop
So,
until I get my path tag.
Yeah, so well, come out to Bash this year, and I'll get it to you.
So, how are you? First of all, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay. All right. So let me hear. Is it an LEO story or is it a Muggle story?
This is a Leo story.
All right. let me
It's
hear
from back in 2012.
it. 2012. Okay.
Yeah, one of our local cachers, she put out one of those series of caches where you have to find, I think it was 6 traditional caches of code or parts of the coordinates to a puzzle cache.
Okay.
So she hid those all in this giant cemetery in Youngstown. So me and 2 of my buddies, biking guy and goalie 003, we decided to go out and try to find these. And one of them was on cemetery property, but you went over this like little embankment down into this swamp woods area. So we go down in there, and we're probably down in there 20, 25 minutes. Can't find it. Biking guy decides he's going to go up, and he left his car idling. He's like, I better go turn my car off. So he goes up the hill, and as he gets to the top of the hill, we decide to head up too because our signals are bouncing. We're like, we need to try to get the phones and GPS is working better. So we get to the top of the hill just to see. He's talking to a random cop, and 2 other cops come flying in. and then we come to find out. Well, first off, we walked out. One of the cops, because both of those guys are actually cops as well. So they knew one of the cops. They start laughing because he knew what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And turned out somewhere in one of the neighborhoods that borders the cemetery, the little old lady saw us, and she called the cops saying that there were 2 men dragging a woman by gunpoint over the hill and into the woods to do God knows what. Still not sure which one of us was the damsel in distress in this case. But yeah, the cops laughed about it and refused to give us any help looking for it, and that was our experience.
Wow.
Wow.
It was definitely a surprise coming up over the hill and seeing all like half the Youngstown PD
I've done
flying in the
that.
cemetery.
I've got my story for that. Yeah, coming up a hill is always interesting when you see a cop.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much, sir. Love it. That's a good one.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mhm. All right,
So,
bye.
so Chad,
Uh-huh.
what did I want to tell you? So, let me hear one of yours.
One of mine.
Yeah, let's hear
Okay.
one from you here. While
I'm going to do a little screen share here while we're doing that.
We got Texas on the line here, but he hasn't been on hold very long. So,
So I'll do a non-LEO one here. So pull up my screen share there.
oh, you got a screen share?
Yeah.
Oh, you want a screen
This is actually where the cache is. So this is in Seattle.
Hold on, for everybody who's at work right now and not watching this, it's the statue of a man feeding birds, and
Yeah.
some birds are bending over, some birds they're reaching up in the guy's hand. If you can kind of get a visual of that.
Very large seagulls, 4 bronze seagulls and a bronze man, full size. here, and there's a cache there. The cache is called Seagull. It's on Pier 54 in front of Pike Place in Seattle.
Sure.
And so my friend's standing about maybe 25 feet away from me, kind of watching while I go up there. And I'm reaching around and stuff, trying to find it. And then I put my hand up the rump of one of these seagulls. And as I'm doing that, looking for the cache, of course, it's a bronze seagull. So, and this is during one of the block parties. And so there's tons of geocachers around the area and stuff. And as I'm doing that, a lady walks around the corner and asks, what are you doing to my seagull? And it's like, oh, I'm giving it a prostate exam. I'm thinking this is a geocacher trying to give me crap, and I'm going to give it right back.
My seagull, right?
And then she goes, "What are you doing to my seagull?" And it goes, it's like, I'm just geocaching, because at the time I'm thinking, okay, maybe this isn't a geocacher, and I got a pin in my left hand, and she's getting pissed at this point. It's like, why are you tagging my seagulls?
Tagging my seagulls.
Yes, her words, tagging. And I went back and looked at my log, and I remember it correctly. She was saying that I was tagging her seagull.
You were tagging it like
painting, marking it up.
You weren't tagging the seagull.
No, I wasn't. And then at the time, right then, my hand went on the cache container, which was a film canister. Mm-hmm. And I pull it out, and I'm sorry for spoiling this for anybody who goes out there and finds it, because it's still an active one. But I pull it out, and I show her. I was like, this is a geocache, and she goes, I don't care. Why are you writing on my seagull? Why are you tagging it? And then I open the container, and it's like, here's the log sheet. Kind of roll it out. It's like, these people, including myself, have come here to sign this log sheet. It's like, we're geocache. Then she's starting to calm down and realizing, hey, this is bringing people to her place of business. Right. She apparently, or claimed to have owned the restaurant that's right there, something fish place, and all this time didn't realize. And at the time, it had more than 100 finds on it. Let's see how many finds it has right now. Right now it has, 4,000 finds. Oh. Okay, 4,172 finds.
Been there and stuck their hand up this
right
ass.
And then he's like, oh well, and that's when Cliff walks up, because Cliff was kind of like hanging back. He was laughing his ass off at me.
Luckily that you getting yelled at.
Yeah, and then he walks up and says, "Yeah, we're geocaching." And it's like, "Oh, where'd you guys come from?" And it's like, "Well, we came from Texas." I was like, "You came all this way from Texas just to do this geocache?" It's like, yes, we came all the way from Texas just to do this geocache.
Just for you.
Just for you. So apparently she wasn't too upset, because the cache is still active. Yeah. After that was 7 years ago.
Wow. Say, Jesse. So Jesse and I think over the summer, or maybe last fall, Jesse and I are going to do this cache. It's in Northbrook. It's in my hometown, and we park on the side of the road, on the side street, basically on the side street, because there's woods like right next to our cars. So we get out, and there's houses on the other side of the street. So we get out, we go find the cache, we come back, and these people come storming out of their house screaming at the top of their lungs. And Jesse immediately goes into defensive mode and starts screaming back. And basically they're pissed because, Jesse, thank God your mic's not working. She's like, no, I didn't. And so let's see, try again now, Jess.
Hello?
There you go. Now, what were you saying now?
If I recall, the story you're telling, I didn't get defensive that one. I looked at her and said, "No, you're wrong." And I said, "Scott, come on, let's go." And I got in the car. So go ahead. Now you can.
And so these people were yelling at us because we were parking in front of their house
Right.
on the street,
In the right of way.
on the other side of the street. So not even parking in front of their house, technically. This is what they're yelling at us about.
They don't own the street.
Right. She says,
I think that's what
"We
Jeff-
maintain this." I said, "No, I'm pretty sure this is part of the preserve. It's not yours. If anything, it belongs to the village. It's a right of way. You don't own it. We can park here. This is a forest preserve. Let's get in the car, Scott. We're leaving."
was done. Jesse was having none of it. None of it, sir. Yeah. So I remember that one. I remember one more time in Northbrook. I'm by myself and I'm in the woods and I'm off of Lake Cook Road, Jesse. No, I'm off of Dundee Road, just to give you an idea where I am. And I'm kind of about 10 feet into the woods and a cop sees me. Then he pulls over, throws his lights on, pulls over, literally comes into the woods with me and says, "What you doing?" I said, "Looking for a cache, but I can't find it. A geocache, but I can't find it." He's like, "Oh, I've heard of that." And so he literally goes, "Here, let me help you." Turns on his flashlight, and literally it's one of those cop flashlights. So it literally turns to daytime in the woods. Like he's got one of them. Like I got this like puny little like 300 lumens. This guy's got like 15,000 lumens on his on his light. And I was like, "Holy God! I've never seen a flashlight like that in my life. It was the brightest flashlight I've ever seen." I digress, though. Chad, we've got another call. We got Texas here on the line. Texas, we got Kara Killer. Hello, sir.
Gentlemen,
Are you back now
you let me on.
from playing Army? Are you back?
Oh my God, man, it's finally over.
He
I'm back
was.
in Texas.
Where were you? You were in the desert playing Army, man.
I was, man. I was at the National Training Center at Fort Irwin, California for 1 month, and it sucked.
Did you learn lots?
My second time to have to go through that.
Did you learn lots?
Did I learn lots?
Mm-hmm.
No, not really.
Did you become a better soldier?
No.
Did you get to listen to
No.
the podcast while you were there? Let's put it that way. How about that?
No, I was in like no service zone most of the time, and I was working nights, and it sucked, man.
I'm
It
sorry.
was like there was no food, no toilets, there was no internet. You're not even allowed to have your phone there.
Oh,
But for some reason, they didn't take my phone, so I would just use it in hiding.
dude, what happens if you get caught doing that in the
If
Army?
I had service.
Right. What would happen if you got caught doing that in the Army?
They'd get mad.
That-
But the good thing is I'm of such a rank that most of the bull, the bull what have you,
Oh, it doesn't
is
apply
not
to you.
going to affect me.
Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, the bull crap doesn't apply to you. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, if I get caught, it's going to be a talking to and nothing more,
Okay. All right. So you got a story for me? Well, first of all, it's good to have you back. We missed you over here. It's good to hear you. Good
Thank
to hear your
you.
voice again. Oh, he's a good friend of the show, so it's good to hear your voice. What's the story tonight?
All right, my story goes back a few years. My wife was just my girlfriend at the time,
Mhm.
and she'd recently gotten a Jeep, so we were traveling up from Atlanta to the North Georgia mountains. And at the time, we had this idea that we were going to do every earth cache in Georgia. And we came up a little short before we moved to Texas. I think we had less than 10 to go.
Oh.
But anyway, this was one of those trips, right?
Mhm.
So we were at some earth cache, North Georgia somewhere, remote area in the mountains. And I think the earth cache was something about a river. Not really sure. But we're doing it, get our answers. And then we realize there's a traditional cache across the street. And we're, searching for that. And all of a sudden, some big, burly, wild mountain man comes out of nowhere. And he's only wearing some blue jeans and no shirt. He's got a big beard, and he is pissed. He is like, "Let me guess. You're here for a geocache, am I right? Well, then I'm sick and goddamn tired of you people coming up in here in my land." And we're like, "Whoa." Yeah, this is our first time here. He's like, "I don't care. You ain't going nowhere. I'm calling the police. And I was like, no, man, we're getting in the car and we're leaving, all right? And he's just screaming at us, and we're like, all right, cool. We get in the car and leave. And down the road, I write a log that says something like, crazy mountain man came out of the woods, screamed at us, telling us to get the hell off of his land, and he's calling the police on the next people who come here, so tread with caution. Now, not 1 minute goes by, and I get a message from somebody with an account called The Enforcer, and it says something along the lines of, the mountain man was the damn landowner, and you've been warned. Next person that comes on this land is going to jail. You understand? Pass it on. And that is my story of getting caught.
Get caught.
Awesome.
You know, you want to be caught by a Georgia redneck guy, mountain guy. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, man.
He'll shoot
The
you.
mountain man, shirtless mountain man.
Did he have the full beard too? Everything?
He did.
Was it? Is it exactly like I see it in my head? Was he just like I'm seeing it in my head?
He was a slim, built, older man with a beard and no shirt on who came out of the woods in the middle of nowhere north of Georgia.
Oh, good Lord.
And he did not want anyone on his land. And he knew that there was a geocache on his land. It happened before.
Wow.
You know, you figure he even was able to get online and create an account.
Yeah,
So you figure he knew where it was.
I'm
and
more
he'd get
impressed
rid of
by.
it.
I'm more impressed by that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's impressive.
Or mark a needs archive, you know, like I'm the landowner, get it out of here. Instead, he wanted to have encounters with people like me.
Right, he wanted to shoot you. That's awesome. Good story, sir. Well done.
Well,
That's up there.
Indeed.
Good job. We'll talk to you soon, man. Thank you so much.
yeah, that reminds me of an encounter that I had in Texas, out in the middle of nowhere, doing some caches along this side of this road in the easement, and as I'm pulling over to grab one, that's I think it was a preform soda tube preform hanging on the fence. A cowboy rides up literally on his horse. The other side,
Did he have a cowboy hat and everything? A cowboy?
Cowboy hat with a gun belt and a 6-shooter.
Get out of town.
No, I'm not kidding.
Real live cowboy.
Like a real live cowboy comes riding up. He's on the other side of the fence and tells me or asks me, you know, what am I doing on this property? And it's like, well, I'm actually on the easement here. And it's like, no, what are you doing on my property? It's like, well, I'm geocaching. So, I don't care what geocaching is. You're not allowed to be on my property. And you know, and his hand goes up and puts his palm on the, you know, it's a 6-shooter, it's a revolver.
Sure.
Palm on the handle of the revolver. Is like, okay, I'm done. I'm out. I'm out of here. And you know, I get back in the car, and that was probably the longest DNF write up that I've ever written.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
It was like, yeah, I don't know if anyone's aware, if the cache owner is aware of the property owner that is on the other side of the fence there, but he's not too happy with it, and someone might get shot.
Carries a gun. Carries a gun.
Yes.
Good one, Chad. Gotta love it when you're a real life cowboy.
A real live cowboy.
Amazing. Good job. We've got we got friend of the show. We got Cody Dog. Cody Dog, hello, sir.
Hello.
Cody. Did you hear earlier? Somebody loves your drop. Someone loves that. Makes them laugh.
It truly is a thing that I do.
It truly is a thing.
Yes.
And it's a sight to see if you've never seen it before. So, do you have an LEO? Let me hear your story, or just like getting caught.
We always have LEOs.
Yes, we do.
So yeah, we were always partners in crime at night.
Yes.
So I've got 3 stories. They're all kind of short.
They better be short. Go ahead.
So there was one time that we were caught by 3 cops in what I want to call it the Libertyville area, and so we were just doing parking grabs, heading home.
Mhm.
And we ended up going to one parking garage. It's just a lamppost. We didn't mind anything of it. And all of a sudden, we had 3 squad cars pull up on us.
Yes.
We're like, what's going on? You remember that one?
Mhm. I do. Yes, I do.
And so we're like, this is weird. Why do we get 3? You usually get 1. You know, like,
Right.
why do we need 3 backup? We found out that there was a hair salon there that had been recently robbed.
So they thought we
And-
were robbing the hair salon again.
They thought we came back for them.
We came back to get more. Yeah, we came back. So like they literally, like so like everybody converged like real quick. Yes, I do remember that story. Yeah, that's a good one. I forgot about that. Yes.
Or what about the one where we were in downtown Elgin when we went for a lamppost and we went to a parking lot that had no exit? You remember that story?
No, parking with no exit.
Yeah. So like we drove round in circles around the parking lot and then we ended up having to go down a wrong way street.
Oh yes,
And
and
the
the
police
cop pulled us
officer-
over. Yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
What, they like gate off the normal exit or
No,
something?
no, we couldn't get out, so we had to like go back the way we came. Sorry, I'm hijacking your story, Cody. I went back the way I came, and I got pulled over. And then the cop's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Dude, there's no exit." He's like, "Yeah, I know." He's like, "It's really difficult. I totally get it." And he let us off. He like totally let us off.
Yeah, there were do not enter signs at all the exits. So we were like, how do we get out?
Yes, I remember. I think that was actually, was Cody, was that Elgin or was that Aurora, Illinois? I thought it was Aurora.
Was that Aurora?
I think it was
'Cause I thought we
Aurora.
were at the cruise. but,
Aurora's
I mean,
got
the
Aurora's
casino.
got one too. What are you talking about? Because
Oh,
remember,
no.
Aurora, you can't. You can't.
Maybe it was Aurora.
In the city of Aurora, Illinois, guys, you cannot take left turns. I don't know what it is about the city. You can't take a left turn. They do, every corner. Cody, am I right? Every corner has a no left turn sign.
Oh yeah, we avoid Aurora.
It's because you can't take a left. You have to take a right. Have to.
Hmm.
Sorry, we're getting off topic. Cody, third story, go.
And so third story, I don't know if you remember this one, but I think we were in Streamwood or we were in the Turtle Fan area, so it's a little bit farther south. Do you remember that one time where we were doing, I think it was like a series of caches. It was probably like 3 or 4. And we ended up getting flanked by police officers. And like we heard rustling as we were going down like this path. And then all of a sudden they popped up out of nowhere and scared the shit out of us.
No,
I'm
you
sorry.
sure that was with me? Oh, you swear on my podcast? I don't remember
I
that.
did.
No, I don't remember. You sure that was with me?
Oh, no, yeah, it definitely was with you. A forest preserve in the night? Absolutely.
No, I don't remember that one. No, that one I have no recollection.
Oh, I remember. It was really, really towards the beginning, 2011. I'd have to say,
Really?
because I was really scared. I was like, what is this, Leo Connor? And I was like, oh. Yeah. So you've blessed me with the ability to talk to cops because the amount of Leos that we've had.
Yes, we've had plenty. Yes. Thank you, sir. Always good to talk to you, Cody. Thank you, sir.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Talk to you. Hey,
Bye.
Chad.
Uh-huh.
We got Australia.
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 Awesome.
Hello, Australia.
Hello, how are you?
Is this Tim? Right? Am I hearing talking to Tim?
It is.
How you doing, Tim?
Yeah, I got accused of being Craig, but it's not Craig, it's Tim. I'm in Melbourne.
Oh, did Jesse think you were Craig?
I saw the plus 614 come up and I was like, okay. And I answered in there. He wasn't there right away. And I'm going, hello, Craig? Hello? No, it's not.
Well, Tim, first of all,
Sorry.
mad respect for you to actually listen to a podcast and be like, you know what? I'm going to call a podcast in the States to tell my story. So I know it's got to be a good story.
Oh, yeah, I've actually got 2.
All right, let me hear 'em.
The first one is probably is more of a funny one. It was so it's a location that's is sort of known for parking, and so I'd often avoided it because I was always driving through in the evening, and I didn't really like pulling up in those locations where I was by myself. So I met up with a fellow cacher. We went up, found the cache, came back down, and the police were doing the rounds and moving everyone along. And they came up to us and sort of went, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, we're just geocaching." "Oh, so you found it?" Yeah, we got it. "All right, cool. Have a nice night." And basically just left us was telling everyone else to move on.
So by parking, you mean couples parking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, park. Oh.
It's a fairly popular lovers spot.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
So
nice. Very nice.
And the other one was it was a sort of a rural area close to us, and we'd hunted for the cache for quite some time now. When we rocked up, we sort of could hear this guy calling out, and sort of, oh yeah, whatever. Didn't worry too much about it, and then we hunted for the cache probably good 20, 30 minutes. Ended up sort of, nah, can't find it. Let's give up on this one.
Mhm.
And as we're heading out, starting to head back up out of the bush area, copped a spotlight right in the face. And, what are you guys doing? And we're just geocaching, and, wasn't too concerned. And he sort of, oh, you guys don't look too bad. He goes, I was calling out, you weren't, there's no response, and I've come to find out. And next thing I've noticed, he's got a knife in his other hand,
A knife?
decent-sized knife in his other hand.
Do police usually carry knives? Was it not police?
No, it wasn't police.
Oh.
It was one of the neighbouring landowners.
Oh, good Lord.
And he's sort of going, oh yeah, you guys seem all right, and so he's putting the knife away, and then he's sort of going, oh, I suppose I don't need this. And then he pulled the stocking that he's got over his head, pulled that off.
So he was literally going to murder you. Murder you.
Well, I think that might have been part of his plan. But he obviously decided that we're all right, and we stood and chatted to him for the next 15 minutes about what is geocaching and what we were doing there. And apparently there'd been some robberies in the area, so he was a bit cautious of a car pulling up out the front.
Wow.
So we got Paul Hogan here. Is like, that's not a knife. This is a knife.
This is a knife. Tim, that is a great story, buddy.
So, but yeah, it was certainly a memorable caching outing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tim, do me a favor. Make sure send a email to the show with your address so we can get you out your free prize. Because Jessie says she didn't get your address, and I want to make sure you get something. Okay.
All right, not a problem.
So send an email to us. You can get the email from our website, or it's just what's our email address? The
Geocaching Podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for listening, man, all the way from Australia. Appreciate it very much.
Not a problem. It's on around my lunchtime, so I quite enjoy sitting and listening to you guys, and
thanks, man.
All the banter that goes with it.
Well, I hope the
Awesome.
I hope the call's a cheap one for you, at least.
I do have some free time, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Okay. All right. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for the time. Cheers, guys.
Bye. I love when other countries call in. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Chad, we got Maine calling in. Maine, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Is that E.T. Go Kai? Is that right?
Yes, E.T. Go Kai.
That's an awesome name, dude. E.T. Go Kai. All right. Let me hear your story. What you got for me?
Well, this was back when I first started around 2009 or so. My girlfriend and I went back home where I lived, about 250 miles up north near Calais, Maine. And we borrowed a boat and went out to this little island in the river that borders the Canadian side and the American side. And I was looking to put a cache out on the island. And we were out there looking around. There's only like 2 trees on this island. I mean, it's a small island.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, that boat looks like it's heading right for us from the Canadian side. And I looked at it and I said, no, they're just heading up the river. Well, lo and behold, they came right over to the island and asked us if we were all right. And said, yeah, we're just out here looking around. Next thing I know, there's a boat coming in from the American side with the rescue boat from the fire department that I used to belong to. And they came in and asked me if we were all right. And just a few minutes later, another boat came heading for the island. Bunch of officers in shirts there. I think they were the U.S. Fisheries. We all were kind of standing around laughing. I finally told them what I was doing. And they said they were looking for somebody who had been stranded. And I said, no, it wasn't us. But that happened a lot. They'd see a log floating down the river or something. And, so we'd get called out. But it was kind of funny, especially since I knew some of the guys there from the fire department.
Oh, that's funny.
And, long story short, they all went away, and I got so shook up I never put the cash out there.
Oh. So you're telling me people get stuck on the islands a lot, enough to warrant like phone calls and boats?
Well, no, they don't get stuck on the islands. Usually it's some piece of debris or something that's floating down the river, and people see it and think that a kayak or something has flipped over.
Oh.
So they'll call in us to go look at, or them, I should say now. Go look at it, and we never find anything. But I mean, it's kind of funny. The Canadian Coast Guard got called in because the American side was too busy or something.
That's I didn't know that the two countries like work together like that.
Oh yeah, up in that area we do. Yeah.
Oh wow, interesting. Well, I love it, man. Thank you so much for calling in. That's a good story.
Great story.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you soon. So Chad.
Mm-hmm.
So I got one more story, and then so chat room. Who do you think deserves the prize of winning tonight's show? I got one more story for you. Obviously, this story doesn't count, but this is from the one of my favorite people on this planet, Sir Walter Grogan, who is a cashier, and he was once on a walkway over an expressway. Jesse, he was over 90, and there was a cache. Jesse, you may remember this one. It was on Meacham Road. It was a nano on the bridge. It was a walk bridge over an expressway, and there was a nano on the bridge. And Walt went out there one day, and it took a while because it's a nano on a freaking walk bridge, And a cop shows up because people driving under him thought he was going to jump.
Oh,
because
I can see that.
He was reaching over, and stuff like that. People saw him like hunched over enough where someone called 911 on him, saying, "I got a guy gonna jump."
I can definitely see that. I mean, I've been out in done some bridge caches where it looked like I was crazy, basically, and possibly suicidal. So trying to get some of these, reaching up over and under to try to get to them, and it's like, is that guy trying to climb over the ledge, and what the heck's going on?
So, Chad, it's time.
All right.
Queue is empty, sir. What's the best story?
I'm gonna my two favorites are the one with the SWAT in Lafayette, Indiana, and there is the one in the cemetery where the lady called in about dragging a lady off with the gun, with a gun to her head.
Right.
I think those are my two favorite.
Jesse, what about you? Do you have a personal favorite?
didn't hear all of them because I was.
You didn't hear. You were taking phone calls. That's right. I'll give up.
I know. I think it's unfair for me to vote.
I like the SWAT one. I like the Mountain Man one. I thought the Mountain Man one was great.
The Mountain Man one was also great. So
I thought that was a really, really good one. I like the SWAT one is good. So considering we both like the SWAT one, we both agreed the SWAT one. You also agreed the Mountain Man one was great as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Worthy of it? Worthy of SWAT? Better than SWAT?
I like SWAT a little bit better.
I like SWAT a little better too. All right, SWAT, you're the winner guy. You're the big winner. That'd be Adham. But Adham is the big winner tonight. Congratulations, Adham. But anybody who called in, you also get a prize tonight. So Mountain Man was fantastic. That was a really good story.
Definitely.
SWAT just a little bit better. So guys, thank you everybody who called in tonight. That's awesome. I love these. Hey guys, you have an idea for one of these kind of shows? You shoot us an email, the geocaching podcast at gmail.com, or hit us up on Facebook. You got an idea for one of these? We'd love to hear it. What do you think would make a great One Up Me contest show? In the meantime, Chad,
Mm-hmm.
again, everybody who called in, awesome job. You're getting a prize. If you gave Jesse your address, you're getting a prize. Tim, make sure you send Jesse a email that with your address, and we'll get that out to you ASAP. So next week, Chad.
Next week.
Next week we're giving thanks. It's Thanksgiving, Chad.
Turkey Day. Day
It's
before
almost-
Turkey Day.
We're giving geocaching thanks, Chad. And when you give geocaching thanks, you got to bring one man on the show. We're bringing on the geocaching vlogger to give thanks.
Awesome.
To give
Joshua.
and giving geocaching thanks. It's always good to talk Joshua. Joshua, it's been over a year since Joshua's been on this show, so we're gonna have him back on the show.
I got to catch up to his videos. It look he's getting some of the ones in Brazil out now.
He is.
So-
Yes, I just talked to him. He's coming in. He's flying into Chicago on Saturday. I'm picking
Awesome.
him up at the airport. Me and him, we're going to the WWE pay-per-view on Sunday night.
Really?
Him and his son. Yeah, I got tickets to it. Him and his son he's flying in Saturday night. He's staying over Saturday. He's staying over Sunday, and I'm taking him back to the airport on Monday. So
Cool.
yeah, it's good. I haven't seen Joshua in a long time, so it'll be good to see Joshua. So spend some time with Joshua, and he's gonna be on the show on Thursday, giving geocaching thanks, guys. That's the show next week. So look forward to that. And everybody, thank you so much. He will not be in the studio live. No, he's only gonna be here for the weekend, but maybe we'll record something. But thank you guys so much for calling in. We love hearing your phone calls. We love hearing your stories. Thank you so much, Jesse. Thank you, Chad. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much. And let's close the show. Here we go. Please join us again every Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central as we stream you live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and on our website, geocachingpodcast.com. The archive video versions of our podcasts are available on our website or on our YouTube channel, and the audio versions are available on your favorite podcatcher. If you like the show, please head on over to Apple Podcasts and rate, review, and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it, and it really helps the show when you do. If you prefer to watch the show, make sure you click the subscribe or get notified buttons to know when we go live so you can watch it live. If you haven't already, please consider becoming a patron of our show. With tiers starting as low as $3, you'll get a ton of additional information, extra video, extra audio, only available to our patron members. Please head on over to patreon.com today and subscribe. That's patreon.com/the Geocaching Podcast. Thanks once again to our sponsors, Cashly, Logwork, FDF Geocacher Magazine, the Max Sets Body Company, Practical Geocaching, and PathX.com. Please visit our sponsors, and when you do make a purchase, you tell them the GCPC sent you. That's all we got this week. So we'll see you guys next week, talking geocaching, taking your phone calls. In the meantime, be good, be safe, hug your loved ones. We will talk to you guys next week. We are clear, Sir Chad.
All right.
You want to give our live listeners a couple bonus stories?
A couple. You guys want some bonus stories? We can give you some bonus stories. You want some bonus stories?
If anyone's still watching.
I should save it for Patreons. I should.
I only have 2 more stories. They're not that good. I don't know if they're Patreon worthy.
You guys want to hear the extra stories, or should I throw them on Patreon? Let's see what the chat room thinks. How many people are still? No, we still got a decent number here going. Jess, go ahead. You can tell a story. Go ahead.
So again, I was taking calls, so I didn't hear all your stories. So did you tell the story about the time that we were escorted?
I did not. No, I did not tell that story.
So Scott and I were in West Virginia, and it was pretty late at night, probably, 10, 11 o'clock on a weekend. And we were on a college campus that was shut down, though. I think must have been a holiday weekend or something. And so the campus was shut down. And so we pulled onto the campus and we pulled over next to a tree in the parking lot. And we were just sitting in the car reading the logs because it was supposed to have been a pretty tough cache. And so we're reading through the logs, trying to figure out, okay, where are we going to start looking and everything. Next thing you know, here comes security. Says, "What are you guys doing?" And I'm like, "Oh God, I don't want to deal with this." So I just said, "Oh, I'm just looking at a map." I was totally looking at a map. He's like, "Okay." Next thing you know, here come 2 police squad cars. So security saw us on the cameras, called police. So the 2 squad cars come. They say, "What are you guys doing?" I'm like, "We're just looking at a map." "Oh, well, where are you trying to go?" "Back to the interstate." "North or south?" North." "Okay, let's go." So one gets in front of us, one gets behind us, and they escort us off of the campus, out onto the side roads, and right onto the interstate, and sent us on our way.
Get the hell out of our town.
Yes. So, yeah.
Was that West Virginia?
We were in West Virginia.
West Virginia, yes.
Mhm.
I remember that one. Yes.
Yeah.
One more from you, Chad. Go ahead.
So this was actually just earlier this year. We were in Norman, Texas, just outside, or pardon me, Norman, Oklahoma, just outside of Oklahoma City, and doing the Star, the Oklahoma Star. So if people are aware of the Star series, where basically every state has a star that has 50 caches in it, a star GeoArt, and so we were cleaning this one up in an area that is referred to as Tick Lake by others. So there's one cache in there that is in an area where you have to pass a do not trespass sign to get to it, and they have permission to actually hide the cache there. The 2 ladies that I was with would not cross the barrier, so I had to go in there, get it, and it's only about maybe 150 feet in. So I go in there, find it quick order. As I'm coming back, as I'm literally ducking through the railing to get out, I see a police car coming down the road towards us. And it was like, I just step out and wait for him to pull up and, flips on the lights and just a blurp to let you know that, hey, yeah, stop, stay there. And he goes, it's like, what are you doing? And it's like, well, it's like I'm geocaching. And he starts to kind of give a little bit of crap, but he really knows what geocaching is. Go ahead and pop that share up there for our live viewers. And so
Everybody's still watching the show. Oh yeah, I guess there's nobody listening. So yeah, anybody watching the show.
So he knows what it's all about, and he kind of tells us is like, yeah, the people there really just don't want people that do take off-road vehicles onto their property. They don't want that happening. They've had people planting pot farms in there. There have literally been doomsday cults set up. Yes, that's right, doomsday cults.
Doomsday preppers?
Yeah, set up on that property, and that's really what they're trying to keep out, not geocachers. He said and it's a local tribe that actually owns the property. He said, but so it's like hikers are welcome to come back there and stuff like that. Just but he has to kind of check it out if he does see someone there. But the girls was like, arrest them. So they throw up a little fake arresting photo and stuff. So that's my only true LEO experience.
True. Meaning what? Meaning you got like cuffs on?
I actually had cuffs on.
I got cuffed once. I'll tell that story.
Never mind.
So I have a ton of stories. Everyone's heard my, driving my car on the path story. Everyone knows that story. Everybody's heard that story. Everyone has heard my gun in your face in the city story. I've told that story a dozen times on this podcast. Yet I don't think anybody's heard this story. So it's New Year's Eve. Jesse and I, we're out caching because we're nerds and that's what we do. I mean, we don't have children on New Year's. So Jesse, do you remember who else was in the car? We weren't alone.
I think Aaron was with us and maybe somebody else, but
Yeah, I remember somebody else was there. I can't remember.
we were 4 people. I don't remember who
Yeah.
was with us.
So it's just about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's New Year's Eve, and it's about 10:30 at night, roughly. I don't think it was midnight yet, and we're getting caches, and it is sheeting out, not snowing, not raining, sheeting, which means it's just crap coming down. Okay, and this road is getting really, really icy, and it's getting to the point where I can't really see. So I actually pull over, stop the car to let's regroup and figure out what we're doing, and let's see if it'll stop, sheeting for a little bit.
And I think we said we were just going to get like one more, and then we were going to go home because the roads were getting really bad.
Yeah, really bad. And so a cop pulls up behind me, lights on, and he comes to the window. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, we're just, we're regrouping. We were geocaching and da 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 da." He's like, "Okay, give me your license. This. Just want to make sure I'm not a felon or whatever, or wanted." So he takes my license. He goes back, and then somebody says something like, "Hey, I wonder if he knows something." And I'm like, "Oh wait, I'll go ask him." Okay, Jed. So this is kind of visual here. So I got this. So I open the door. I open my car door. I open the car.
Big
door.
mistake.
I open the car door. I put my left foot
Hold,
out.
hold on.
Okay,
hold on. Here's my visual. Scott opens the car door, and then I looked over, and there is no Scott. No Scott. He is gone. He's gone. Not in his seat, like gone. I don't see him anywhere.
So I take one foot, step out the car, and my foot goes, and my body goes, and I flat back bumped, like a wrestling term, flat back bumped on the cement, boom, on my back.
Oh, jeez.
Boom, on the back. And I didn't even know what happened. It was like my foot just went up, what just went up, and just totally fell backwards. Jesse comes running out the car. And I'm like, what just happened? And I was fine. And I really was fine. I was just like, wow, that was crazy. And meanwhile, I did this right in front of a cop. Okay. In the lights of a cop, I did this. This cop's gonna be like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Have they been
What are you on?
Uh-huh.
So I get up and I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. Turns out, and then we go for the rest of the night, blah, blah, blah. Turns out the next day, my shoulder is killing me. I must have ripped something or something in my shoulder. Meanwhile, this is at the point in time about 5 years ago, I had no health insurance. So I couldn't even go to the doctor. So I just let it heal. So it took months for my shoulder to heal. Months. My shoulder was killing me for. Remember, Jess? I couldn't even lift my arm.
I know. I remember you complained for a very long time.
My arm up, dude. It hurt to lift it up. My shoulder, rather, not my arm. My shoulder. Yeah. So that's my flat back bump story on New Year's Eve in front of a cop, mind you. All this in full view of the police officer.
Yeah. People, if you ever get pulled over by a police officer, don't open your door for any reason unless the police officer orders you out of the car.
The thing is, I didn't get pulled over. This is why I thought it was okay, because I didn't get pulled over. You know what I'm saying? I get it. If I get pulled over, yeah, I respect the fact you stay in your vehicle, that kind of stuff. But we were minding our own businesses, and he pulled up on us.
Okay.
And, so I thought, okay, we're cool here. We're not I'm not in any kind of trouble in any way. That's why I figured it was cool to get out the car and go talk to him or ask him a question. So yeah. So that's my one story, my New Year's Eve story. I totally forgot about it when I was thinking about this. Is when I was remembered of it. I was reminded rather of it because I was trying to think of old LEO stories, and that one came up. So there you go, guys. There's your 3 extra stories. Jesse, do you have any others, by the way, before we get out?
That was it.
All right, there you go. Chad, any others?
I'm good.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening, for your little bonus stories there. We will talk to you guys next week. Geocaching thanks with the geocaching vlogger. We'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye.